good evening, Titan Nation. Welcome back to another great edition of Titans and Truth. I'm your man Chris, aka Blue Enforcer, and we finna go ahead and get right into this Week 9 edition. As a lot of y'all know, we're just coming off of a bye week, so no game, so we didn't lose one, and got a chance to really get some guys rested and get some guys back from injury. And it looks like we got a pretty good slate of guys coming back to get ready for this game against the Baltimore Ravens. And so I'm going to give you a little quick rundown of the show and let you know what we got going on. And we're going to basically go over a little bit of what's happened in the first half of the season, just a bit. And I'm going to give you my top 5 Titan moments from the first half of the year, and then we're gonna have a put out questions. Who do you think is the mid-season two-tone blue star of the year, and who is also the mid-season dunce of the day as well? So if you're on Facebook Live, give me some nominees, give me some shout-outs, and we'll definitely take a look and see who deserves these awards. And then after that, we'll do a little bit of pick my brain just a bit. And then we're going to do a quick preview of the Baltimore Ravens as they are set to come to Nissan Stadium this Sunday. As usual, I'm going to be there in section 143, ready to cheer loud. Hopefully I'll have some hand warmers and some feet warmers to keep me warm, because I know it's going to be a little chilly out there. So I am definitely looking forward to this game. So let's get started with the recap of this first part of the season. And as you can see right now, we're at a record of 4-3, and we have we're at 4-3 right now, atop of the AFC South, and we're really doing a lot of things. We've done some things well. There are some things that do need to be worked on as well. And, the good thing about, where we are is that, yes, even though we are, 4-3 and we're in a really good position to really take control of this division, there's a lot of things that can be worked on as well. There's a lot of things that we could be better at. And there's a lot of things that, a lot of mess that we really need to clean up as a team on both sides of the ball, whether it be on the offensive or the defensive side of the ball. So as I have here, I got a look at all of the games so far and everything that we've done. And, you see we have a victory. We got victories over Jacksonville, Seattle, Indianapolis, and Cleveland. Also, we struggled with some games, against Oakland to begin the year. Also, that drubbing in Houston, and that unfortunate disaster in Miami with that. So those are just a few of the things that happened. The Oakland game we'll start off with was a game I think we got away from what we wanted to do, was establish the run. I think we wanted to get a little too happy and play with a lot of the new toys that we had, getting Corey Davis, Eric Decker, Jonnu Smith. We were trying to get them two involved instead of just starting with the running game, against a very weak defense. And that was kind of what cost us the game there. And, some mistakes that we made defensively on Amari Cooper. Jonathan Cyprien had a terrible game, missed some tackles, had a couple of chances to make some stops, and we didn't. So that's how we kind of lost that game there. Jacksonville was kind of slow and methodical in the first half. The second half, I think, was where we really blew some things up. And, Derrick Henry was, phenomenal in that game. Marcus did just enough to do what he had to do to score some points. We kind of had a nice outburst. The defense had 2 turnovers, had a couple of sacks. So that was something that was really refreshing to see against a team that was deemed Saxonville I think we kind of put that down a little bit. And then, the Seattle game, don't need to say no more about that. That was probably one of the best games of the year for the Tennessee Titans. They came back and won 33-27 on that game. A great game there, which I'll get into that in just a minute. The Houston game, an absolute annihilation. Marcus got hurt there, and once that happened, I think that just kind of was all she wrote for us there. I mean, we really just did not seem prepared for that game. Miami was a disaster. I think defensively we did some things well, but offensively we just did not have it going. And that's what happened when you have old Matt Castle as the quarterback of the Tennessee Titans in there. And I mean, it's even been said, a 50% Marcus Mariota is better than a 100% Matt Castle. And that is not good to say because, I mean, Matt Castle stunk it up in that game anyway, but there were some things that happened that did not go our way. I mean, if it wasn't for a flukish penalty on Jonnu Smith, which I don't think was actually there, we have a touchdown and, we're up and we're probably winning that game. And instead what happened, I think it was 2 plays later, you have what they call the strip fumble, which I don't know how that was a fumble. And, you thought play was stopped. The other guy just took it and ran it the other direction. I thought there was some whistles, but they called it a touchdown anyway. So some unfortunate circumstances that kind of cost us the game against Miami. I see I have some people coming in here. Brandon, Courtney, Chanel, Morocco, how y'all doing? Welcome in. Glad y'all could join us. And Indianapolis, need I not say more? That was a terrific Monday night ball game. And that opened the world to Marcus Mariota and kind of showed a side of him that, was a little bit different. And so that was just a gutsy performance. And then the Cleveland game, it was a win. One that we probably want to forget about. What's up, Big Rob? One that we want to forget about, but hey, we did our thing, and we had a couple of stars out of that game, which I will be talking about. But that was the first half of the season. We're 4-3, and the second half of the schedule, I mean, we're coming out with Baltimore, Cincinnati at home, a little bit favorable. We got our Thursday night game against Pittsburgh, so we got a short week after the Cincinnati game. And then, of course, we have Indianapolis on the road and Houston at home, which those 2 games could very well decide our fate in the AFC South. And that could win us a division. And maybe even so, if we win 4 of our next 5, that could even put us in position to get a wild card spot if we don't win the division. But I think our first focus is winning the division. Arizona and San Francisco on the West Coast. After that, I mean, once we go to Arizona for that game, which I think is a smart plan, they're going to stay on the West Coast and go to San Francisco from there to get ready for San Francisco. And then they'll come back home to close out against a very good Rams team. I won't sell them short. You got 2 very tough games at the end, the LA Rams and the Jacksonville Jaguars. What's up, Big Richard? How you doing? Those are going to be the 2 last games of the year. And, I mean, this is a easier ending to the season, but it's not going to be easy. We can't take it lightly. So, again, my prediction from way back early in the year, I had us going 11-5. So that basically means I have us going 7-2 the rest of the way. The only losses I have, I believe, is a loss to Pittsburgh. And I believe I said I have a loss to Indianapolis at home. But if Andrew Luck is not playing in that game, which I don't foresee him playing in that game, I really do think we have a shot at winning that game. But I think the biggest games left on the schedule at Pittsburgh, home against Houston, and at home against Jacksonville. And I'm kind of slick throwing in the LA Rams as well. But I think the 3 top games, home against Houston and Jacksonville and at Pittsburgh, are going to be 3 very crucial games on this schedule. So with that being said, going into that, coming off our bye week, here are my top 5 moments of the Titans season so far. I know there's been a lot of questions and a lot of inconsistencies, but there were some very good things that happened as well during this season. And so here we go. Number 5, Corey Davis' debut against the Oakland Raiders. He has 6 catches, 69 yards in that game. He had a big catch for his first one where Mario kind of threw it up a 50-50 ball, and he just kind of went and got that ball over the Raider defensive back. And that told me right there that Corey Davis is going to be a player. Now, he looks like he's going to be fully able to go in this game against Baltimore, but we cannot expect him to hit the ground running right away. Even though Coach Malarkey did say in his press conference today that he expects Corey Davis to start this game against Baltimore, we got to kind of ease him back in a bit so that he doesn't get re-aggravated with that injury and that he can make an impact. But that was a very good debut for him. He got targeted 10 times and ended up with 6 catches in that particular game. Number 4, Ryan Suckup, who could definitely be a midseason Star of the Year candidate. What's up, Ash? How you doing? How's the new baby, the newborn? Number 4, Ryan Suckup. Of course, in the game against Indianapolis, he broke the NFL record for most consecutive field goals made inside of 50 yards. It stands, as we speak, at 55 after the Cleveland game. So he's made 55 straight inside of 50 yards. And so he's automatic. He's definitely one of our best weapons so far. Number 3, we got 3 interceptions from my man Kevin Byard, Big KB 31. You know, coming in to that Browns game, I know a lot of people will say, well, those throws were overthrown, and that's why he got them. But he was in the right position to get those picks. He picked off Deshaun Kaiser twice. He picked off Cody Kessler once. And on one of those interceptions, he really baited Deshaun Kaiser in. He baited him into that interception. And, you know, just when it looked like he was going to turn and cover the tight end, right when Deshaun Kaiser threw it, he turned right back, took it, and I thought one of them he was going to take back to the house. But Kevin Byard is really becoming a playmaker, really becoming a staple on this defense, and he's made his presence felt the last few weeks. Number 2, and I mentioned this earlier, what a gutsy performance by Marcus Mariota in that game against the Indianapolis Colts on Monday night. Basically was playing it on one leg, and he quietly threw for 306 yards. He had a big touchdown pass to Taywan Taylor, and I mean, he was phenomenal in that game, and it went to show that, you know what, Marcus doesn't have to run all the time. He can throw from in the pocket and make some things happen, and he definitely did that in that game. And so he commanded his offense. His offense played for him. His defense came through in the second half, and that's what led to that very, very big win on Monday night, making a statement to the national audience. And then number 1, and again, I say this as one of the games of the year, the game against the Seattle Seahawks. And this was also on national television on Fox. It was the late kickoff, the late primetime game on Fox. And when I tell you, this was a gun show. It was going back and forth, and it was a fantastic game. And I had a lot of fun at this game. It started off a little boring, and you know, it looked like the Titans were really going to take control of the game. You know, Adoree Jackson took a punt back for a touchdown, but he got called back from another ghost penalty. It seems like the refs don't want us to take a punt back for a touchdown. And, I mean, in that game, Adoree basically was showed what happens when the ball is in his hands. He can cause some damage with the ball in his hand. He did it against Jacksonville earlier this year as well. And so that game against Seattle, I mean, we blew up for, I want to say, 21 straight in the fourth quarter. And, DeMarco Murray had a big game, had a big 75-yard touchdown run. Rashard Matthews had a big 50-yard touchdown on a screen pass. Jonnu Smith got his second career touchdown. And, I mean, it was an incredible game. We got after Russell Wilson and, really took some things away from him, even though he had a pretty nice day, but it was just a heck of a ball game. So I put that down as the number one moment of the Titans season so far. And with that being done, now it is time to see who is our mid-season star of the year so far. So tell me what y'all think out there if you're looking on Facebook Live. Who do you have down for your star of the year so far? And also, okay. Now, Two-Tone Blue mid-season star of the year. Somebody that I think has done very well throughout the season so far. I mean, you got a couple of votes. We got Jack Conklin was picked by Tyler Westra. Tyler came in with that. A couple of people I would think of: Ryan Suckup, Kevin Byard, Wesley Woodyard, Marcus could be a nominee as well. So what do y'all think out there watching on Facebook Live? Y'all respond with me. Y'all don't just have to watch. Hey, comment. Let me know what you think. So we got, a couple of nominees there. And, of course, Dunce of the year so far, definitely Terry Robisky is a nominee. I know y'all are tired of me beating that drum, but yeah, Terry Robisky is a nominee. Bryce McCain could be another definite nominee. Even though he only played one game, Jonathan Cyprien, who looked horrible in that game against the Raiders. Also, you got Kevin Dodd, who hasn't even seen the field much. Surprisingly, as I'm going to say this, Darrell Casey, who has struggled this season. Really, I would probably say the whole pass rush, as far as not getting a bunch of sacks, could be a possible nominee as well. So, Facebook Live, I want y'all to talk to me. Let me know what y'all think on that. So, I would definitely say I definitely give Jack Conklin a nod a little bit because, offensive line is protected well. But I'm going to have to say the Two-Tone Blue mid-season star of the year so far has got to be Kevin Byard. I mean, Kevin Byard, 4 interceptions already. He didn't have any last year. I just really like how he's evolved. He's really around the football a lot, and he definitely makes an impact on defense in a major way. Now, again, I would think about Wesley Woodyard as well, and I really like how the offensive line has done in pass protection, but they got to get better in run protection. That's why I can't really give the award to Jack Conklin on that, because the run blocking hasn't been there. And so, if the run blocking was better, I would, definitely consider any offensive lineman. But right now, I can't really consider that. So I give it to Kevin Byard. Definitely honorable mentions: Wesley Woodyard, Ryan Suckup. Now, I want to give out the other side, the Dunce of the year for the mid-season mark. And I think this is a unanimous decision. I think all of us would agree it's Terry Robisky. Terry Robisky has been awful on calling plays, and I know some of it has to do with execution, but it's like he doesn't know what to do with the players he got. You build your offense around some of your best players. Yes, you want to run the ball, but Marcus is your meal ticket. You do it to his strengths. I mean, take a look at what's happening in Houston. Deshaun Watson, Bill O'Brien has centered his offense around what Deshaun Watson can do best, and it's giving off results. I mean, they're looking great. And I mean, a lot of people are saying that even though they're third in the division, that they look like the team to beat. And I mean, I feel that's an insult. We're at the top of the division, but yet Deshaun Watson's getting all the love. Marcus should be getting all that love. And I put a lot of that on Robisky and even a little bit on Malarkey. Find a way to use Marcus better. Unleash him. Let him do his thing. Be aggressive. Don't be soft. And that's the problem that I have. And so that's something that I just think needs to be taken care of. I just don't think Robisky's the right play caller for this team, but we'll see what happens in the second half of the year. But yes, Terry Robisky is a definite dunce of the year mid-season. He better clean that mess up right now. But now that we've done that, we're going to go into pick my brain. Pick my brain. And so y'all put me out some questions out here, and I will definitely try to answer them for you. So I saw a few questions out, and I will definitely take care of that. My guy Tyler always comes through. He definitely always comes through with a few questions of his own, and let's get right into it. So he says, first question, why didn't we try for any trades, or really where did the rumors about Murray start? That's a very good question, because I was kind of wondering that myself. I was wondering, would we be very active at the trade deadline? I mean, there was a few players out there. I'm really disappointed that the Titans didn't really try hard for Marcell Dareus and just let him go to Jacksonville for a 6th-round pick. I think we could have got him for that. Marcell Dareus would have came and fit right away, either as a nose guard in the middle, or he could have played defensive tackle on the other side of Jarrell Casey, and that would have made a nice fit there. He's more comfortable in the 3-4 than a 4-3 defense. That's why they traded him. That's why Buffalo got rid of him, and he had some off-the-field issues as well, so I think that might have played a part as well. But, I mean, you look at that trade. You looked at some other guys that the Titans really could have gotten in on. Maybe they could have looked at, maybe Jarvis Landry, something like that. They also, I have to go back and think about some of the trades that's been made. I saw the tackle for Houston going to Seattle. I mean, we don't really need offensive line help. But I mean, there were some other guys that I would have thought about. Maybe Fletcher Cox from Philadelphia. Maybe there were some corners out there that could have been had. But maybe the asking price was a bit much for John Robinson to go after somebody. And y'all know very well, John Robinson loves his draft picks. He values draft picks like money. Like, those draft picks that he has are like worth millions and millions and millions of dollars. He's not going to give it up unless there's the right trade for him, and maybe there wasn't any. I saw Kelvin Benjamin get traded right at the end. I mean, maybe that could have been something, but we might be okay at receiver. But it may have been smart. Sometimes you don't get too rash trying to make a move just to appease. Maybe the best move was not to make one. I think we could have really looked at some pass rushers, but maybe great pass rushers were just not out there for the price that maybe some teams were asking for. So that might have been something right there. The DeMarco Murray rumors, I don't really know. Maybe it was due to the injury or something like that. I think there was just somebody who may have been opening their mouth just saying, you know what, maybe you see what you get for him. But I was never thinking that DeMarco Murray was going to get traded at all. There was no way he was going to get traded. Number 2, biggest concern going into the Ravens game. Pass rush, number 1. We got to get after Joe Flacco, and I'm going to get into that as we preview the Ravens game. But definitely, I would say pass rush, and also Alex Collins from the last game. He looked very good on that Miami team, who was probably one of the best run teams in the league. Number 3, if we start to spiral like a plane going down in flames, do we just tank for a good draft? These players are not going to tank. I mean, if the downward spiral happens, I still think the Titans play hard. They're going to play through it. I don't think it's going to be where they end up being like 4-12 or 5-11. Maybe it gets to 6-10 or 7-9 if it really spirals out of control. But I mean, I think if that does happen, you're going to be seeing some new faces in the coaching staff. And I mean, maybe not necessarily Malarkey, but you could definitely see either LeBeau or Robisky or some other guys gone. Definitely. Number 4, what steps you've been taking to get legit so you can report from the locker room? Again, that's some things I'm working on, trying to develop some relationships with a lot of the guys in the media. Definitely also trying to get with Amy Wells, who is a broadcast coordinator. Got to get some word out to the PR department, and that's where I could get a credential, and maybe I can get into the locker room. So that's something I'm going to work on to try to get more legit, definitely going into next year as well. Number 5, do you ever feel like the Titans aren't playing to win? I mean, the front office and the coaches, like they're just treading water, like the Eagles are trying to win now. I can see where you're coming from with that particular question. The Eagles went and got Jay Ajayi from the Dolphins. So, yeah, the Eagles look like a team that is trying to win now. They ain't waiting. They're not sitting back waiting for the opportunity. I think there are times that, and it's been happening for the last few years. It seems like the Titans, they don't play to win. They play not to lose. It's like they're so scared of losing that they're doing everything they can to look like they're not going to lose. When in actuality, I've said this many, many times. If you play not to lose, you end up losing. And that doesn't help. That means you're playing scared. You're playing conservative. You're not being aggressive. You're not going for the jugular. And this team has the capability to do that. They can't go for blood. If you see blood, go for it. If you got a team on the edge of the cliff, push them off. And it just seems like sometimes they get conservative, and that's not the way you win ball games. Against Cleveland, it seemed like that. It seemed like they were just being too cautious, being too careful. And that doesn't help anybody in any situation. So we're going to find out in these first, I would say within the next 5 games, what type of team this team really is. We're going to find that out, definitely. And then the last question, I've heard things about ownership and uncertainty. Should Amy Adams Strong sell the team? And if she did, will we have to worry about the team possibly moving to another city? Right now, we're not going to worry about that because I haven't heard about any uncertainty ownership. I know the NFL always seems to have their questions. And, of course, the fake insider Jason La Canfora, who always seems to think that the Titans are for sale, yet that hasn't happened yet. So I'm not worried about Amy Adams Strong selling the team. I don't think she is. Now, if she did, I think they would do everything in their power to keep the team here, but that's up to us. We got to show up and show out for our team. We got to be at these games to cheer for them. Yes, do you hate a bad product on the field? Absolutely. But it is up to us to cheer this team on and show that we care about this team. We got to step up as fans. And so that's what I ask for. I expect the fans to come out and cheer, chant, be loud, be proud. And that's how we keep this team in this city. I'm trying to see if there was any other questions out there. Thank you, Tyler, for your input as always on that. I'm trying to see if there are any other questions that maybe I did not get to. But of course, if I missed any questions, I will answer them off air. I will answer them on YouTube or on Facebook. So you can definitely watch out for that. But let's go ahead and preview this Ravens game now. And this is going to be a very interesting game. The Ravens are coming in at 4-4 on the year. They just came off of a 40-0 shutout, blowout of the Miami Dolphins. And, Joe Flacco got knocked out in that game due to a concussion. He has cleared concussion protocol, so he will be eligible to play in this game Sunday. And, this team, they're trying to stay in the AFC North, even though they're not very good. They are ranked 31st offensively, but they are a top 10 defense as well. And so they bring a lot of different things to the table as far as offensively. It starts with Joe Flacco. You got Alex Collins, the pickup from Arkansas, who Seattle let go. And I know they're looking kind of stupid right now with the way that Alex Collins is playing. You got Ronnie Stanley at left tackle. You got Jerry Macklin, Rashard Perriman, Mike Wallace at receiver. And so you got the old man wonder Terrell Suggs on the other side, Brandon Williams at nose tackle, who we tried to get in free agency, but we weren't able to get him. And then they have a very opportunistic secondary with Jimmy Smith, Eric Weddle, and Tony Jefferson. They took, and of course, C.J. Mosley at linebacker. They took 2 pick sixes back last week against the Miami Dolphins. So this is not going to be an easy game. We can't overlook them. And so this is a team that is kind of hard to figure out. And so, I give my 4 points, the Blue Enforcer 4 points to victory, which is brought to you by Rose Jewels Boutique. And I tell you, go check out the website, rosejewelboutique.com. Check her out. Check out my friend Allison Nicole Conley. Check her out. Look at some of the jewelry that she's made. Ladies, she can make you some jewelry any way that you want. Fellas, she can make you some, she can make you like a bracelet you can wear on the wrist, a necklace around your neck. She can do it any way that you possibly want and make you look good at it. So hit her up, Rose Jewel Boutique on Facebook, Instagram, as well as her website, rosejewelsboutique.com. And, my 4 points to victory starts with number 1, sack Joe Flacco. Get after him. The pressure has been there, but we have got to take it to the ground. We have got to sack Joe Flacco early and often to send a statement. That way, we can force him into some 3rd and longs, and maybe we can get some punting situations. We have got to get after Joe Flacco. And while we're doing that, shut down Alex Collins. Alex Collins, a hard-nosed runner. We have got to tackle him. We have got to gang tackle him. It may not just take one guy to take him down. We got to gang up on him, and as a horde, get down there and tackle Alex Collins. He went for over 100 yards against Miami. We can't allow that to happen. So that's definitely number 2. Number 3, and this is again where coaching comes in. Unleash Marcus Mariota. Let him loose. Let him do his thing. If you say he's back to 100%, let him do things that he would do at 100%. Let him run. Let him do some play action. Let him loose so that he can take control of this offense and this game. Now, you got to be smart, too. This team, this defense is very opportunistic. If you looked at the game against Miami last week, they took 2 pick sixes. So they definitely are a team that takes advantage of the opportunities. They can create turnovers. And that is something we have got to avoid. So we got to make sure that our key, no turnovers. That's going to be a very big key. And then last but not least, get Corey Davis and Taywan Taylor involved early. I mean, in the first game against the Raiders, Corey Davis was targeted 10 times. Most of that was in the second half. Get him started early. Get Taywan Taylor started early with some slants, some crossing routes, some bubble screens. Get him in space. Get both of them in space so that they can cause some damage. And I want to see Corey Davis get in the end zone for the first time. And really do some major things. That's what I want to see in this particular game. The offensive line has got to clean some things up, keep the pass protection going, but get the run game going as well. But those are our 4 points to victory. Blue Forces 4 points of victory. Again, brought to you by Rose Jewels Boutique. And now I'm going to get ready to wrap up the show tonight with Halloween. As a lot of you know, Halloween was yesterday. Got me some candy. And I definitely, enjoyed myself. Went to a couple of parties this past weekend, and I put a post out there. Post your Halloween pictures. Anytime, if you were in a costume, put it out there. Definitely show me your Halloween costumes and everything. And I see I got some questions in late, which I will gladly answer. But this was I'm trying to get to that. Give me a second, y'all. Halloween is definitely a fun time of year. I like getting dressed up and everything. I'm trying to show y'all my Halloween costume before I answer some of these last questions and get ready to get out of here. So I'm trying to pull it up now. Here we go. But this was me. Went to a couple parties, of course. You could call me Don Julio De Niro, a Godfather, a boss of bosses. That was me on Halloween, and I kind of looked good in that suit. I mean, at times I didn't like it, but at times I also did like it. So it was actually kind of fun to dress up. But you can add your pictures as well. Definitely put them out there. And before I do get out of here, going to answer a couple of late questions from Pick My Brain. Rodney came in and said, do you think with the return of Corey Davis that the offense is going to open up in the red zone and start scoring? Now, I saw some stuff out saying that we shouldn't really put everything on Corey Davis's return. Now, I agree. I think Corey Davis is going to be a major factor in this. I think he does open up some things. He'll open up some things for Delaney. He'll open up some things for Rashard. He'll open up some things for the running game. But we got to get him involved early. And that would definitely be a terrific thing to see. But I think it's going to come along slowly with that. So that's what I would think. And I saw Sadarius Taylor saying, who would be your hidden star or guy on the rise? That's a very good question. And I would venture to say I'm going to give one on offense and defense. On offense, I want to say Jonnu Smith. I think Jonnu Smith could definitely rise slowly but surely, especially with the two tight end sets. You got two guys that can each catch the ball and can do some damage, as you saw it against Seattle and also against Jacksonville. Defensively, I think definitely Jayon Brown is a guy that made a little bit of headway. I'm gonna say LaShawn Sims could be a guy that's on the rise that we haven't seen a lot of, but I think he could make some noise going on later in the season. He's pretty solid, so I think he just gets better with time, along with Adoree Jackson and Logan Ryan. So I just think that's a guy on the defensive side that I think could definitely be on the rise. And I got some comments. Charles comes in saying Robisky sucks. Run, pass. F out of here. Which I can't really disagree with that. So, yeah, Charles, I'm going to give you a like for that one. I definitely like that right there. And then Sidarius comes in saying 1993 offense just ain't getting it done. I like that one too because it does seem like Malarkey is playing a lot of Fisher ball lately. And that's something we don't need to see. Yes, the run game is important, but what they need to do is plan for the team that they're facing. And sometimes if you know that there's a team that's very good against the run, maybe don't try to run the ball so aggressively. Don't try to use the run to set up the pass. Use the pass to set up the run. And perhaps you loosen them up a bit, and then you could do some damage in the run game. So, I mean, coaching is going to be a major part, and it's going to really decide what type of team we're going to be going forward with that. But that's all the time I have this evening. Again, put your Halloween costumes, post them up on the page. I'm going to get out of here, and I will see a lot of y'all on Sunday. You know, if you see me in section 143, hit me up, or if you're on the north end of the end zone, and give me a holler, and we will definitely talk. And so I'm going to get out of here, y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in to Titans and Truth. And I will see y'all again on next week. And I got love for y'all. I will holler.